Very cool, very cool. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since you and I interviewed, and I was just saying to you off air that looks like you've got a smart haircut and you're wearing a chain as well. Is that a new look you're going for, or
No,
it's
it's
working very well for you, my friend?
I'm no, it's just me.
Okay,
But
very cool, very cool. Very nice. How was your weekend? I know you said you were traveling, and I hope you had a fun weekend, my friend.
yeah, it was great. It was great for sure.
Very cool. Very cool, very cool. All right. Well, as always, I'll introduce myself to your great viewers and listeners, my friend. And again, great honor for me to interview with your awesome The Recording Booth podcast. And I just made a post on social media probably about like a few minutes back, maybe like an hour back, saying it's truly inspiring that you start. And I've said this multiple times on your shows as well, but I think the more I say it, the better it is because your viewership, I'm sure, is going to increase even more going forward. And more people should understand that you started three podcasts while you were in high school. And obviously, you and I have not met, but like in person, but I've interviewed with you a few times. And I think it's truly inspirational for everyone across the country, not just the young people in the United States of America, but everyone. For someone to start three podcasts, I think you started them pretty much one after the other or simultaneously all at the same time, right?
Yeah,
And for some, right? Is that right?
yeah,
So for someone to do that so early on in their what was obviously going to be a fantastic career for you, my friend, is truly an inspiration because not a lot of people do that, and that's a differentiation point for you from the perspective of succeeding even more, right? Because, for example, I did not start three podcasts, and obviously I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 41 years old, so there were no real ways or avenues for me to start a podcast or things like that. But not a lot of people even today do that. And I say that in an encouraging way, right? You're going after your dreams and you're truly an inspiration, not just for me, but and not just for the young generation in the United States of America and across the world, but also the senior generation in the United States of America and the senior generation across the world. And so I want to thank you for giving me the honor and opportunity to interview with you, my friend. And I know you kept it open ended. I know you know as well that I like it on most occasions when I get the floor a little bit to
yeah.
share what's going on in my life. And I'll do that this time in just the next 3 minutes or so, or maybe 5 minutes. The remainder of the interview, you can ask me whatever questions you want. And obviously, open book, I'll try and answer those questions to the best of my ability, my friend. And I'll introduce myself to your great viewers and listeners. And my name obviously is Gary Barve. I'm officially running for the 48th presidency of the United States of America. I'm a Republican. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And had a fantastic start to the campaign, interviewed with like 50 media networks across the country. And my music's seen a lot of success as well. My cover songs and original songs, cumulative, many of them have played cumulative 50 million, 50 million listeners or listens in the, on about 18,000 radio station airplays in approximately the 15 16 weeks. And I have the DRT digital radio tracker reports to prove it, and that were given to me by my friend and Hollywood music entertainment and showbiz manager Roger McNair, my friend DJ Rampage, who is obviously a prominent guy, everyone in the music industry, and people in the United States of America and across the world know of him very well. And he's obviously worked with Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Busta Rhymes, Flavor Flav. Tremendous guy. And but I wanted to talk with you about something a little bit different. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
And then I'll answer any questions that you have for me. I'm going to quickly do this. Have you heard? It's sort of in a just fun way, right? Have you heard about the Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinosaur?
Yes, I have.
You have heard about the
Believe it or
Tyrannosaurus
not, yes, I have.
Rex Dinosaur. I believe it. I believe it. What have you heard about the Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinosaur, my friend Brody?
I mean, it's a dinosaur. It's like the top one carnivore, small arms, extinct, all the basic stuff.
Are you sure? Are you sure the Tyrannosaurus Rex is extinct, my friend?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, I believe you when you say that. But I made a video yesterday. See, I'm in the process of recording another music album, And I recorded my first music album in Tennessee on, I think it was June 14th, 2026, which was the previous Sunday. Today's Monday, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
June 22nd. Is it June 22nd, 2026 today? Or I think it is.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
It's Monday, right? So
Yep.
not this previous Sunday, not yesterday. The week prior to that, on that Sunday, I recorded a complete music album, my friend, start to finish, in about 6 hours.
Hmm.
Every song was recorded in that one recording session. I obviously did one break, 5 minute water drinking break. Everything else, start to finish, I recorded the entire music album. And every song was recorded in one take, meaning start to finish, the entire song is one take. And I'm doing the mixing, I'm doing the mastering, and I am also doing the sound engineering for this every song in this music album. And that music album is going to release, and this is some sort of a record, my friend, because probably a world record, because I did a little bit of research and I found out that the Beatles did this from the perspective of recording an entire music album in one recording session. The Beatles did this, I think, in the 1960s. But when you add to that the fact, I'm not saying it in a pompous way, I think it is a world record, probably. We'll find out. But doing the mixing, mastering myself as well, and recording it on my own personal DAW, which is the GarageBand DAW, and on my own basic microphone, and doing the sound engineering as well, personally, is I think some sort of record, and it's a differentiator from the perspective of albums that have been released so far, which I listen to a lot of music, and the songs that are in that music album that I'm releasing, there are 10 songs. Three of them are original songs. My three original songs: Love, Heartbeat, Word in Love, and Rhythm of Eternal Love, which is the third song that came out. And if you want to play it at the end of this podcast, please feel free to do that. I don't have a music video for it, but
Okay.
I think you heard that song, Rhythm of Eternal Love. That's what I decided to name it.
No, I've not heard. I've not heard the song.
I think you will like it. It's a quick song. It's 5 lines in that song. That's it.
Hmm.
The entire song is 5 lines, and it's about 3 minutes, 30 seconds, or something like that. And I think it's a really, really nice song, romantic song, sensual song, emotional song, and hopefully you like it. But so it's three original songs in this particular album, and then there's 7 cover songs. Some incredible songs from bands and music artists, incredible bands, incredible music artists that I have looked up to. I still look up to, and I have admired, and I still admire, like Backstreet Boys. I grew up listening to Backstreet Boys right from the late 1990s, and like Nick Carter, and just fantastic music. Quit Playing Games with My Heart is the song that I've covered in that album, and Brian Adams, and Chasing Cars, and Billy Joel's Piano Man as well, which I'm sure you've heard of, one of
Mm-hmm.
the classics as well. And I've covered a lot of songs, and then that album is releasing probably in the next 5 days worldwide. And I think people are going to hopefully enjoy the 7 cover songs. The 3 original songs are already out, but I'm including them in that music album as well. And uh, I'm now a resident of the great state of Alabama. I don't know if you know that, but when you and I interviewed the previous interview, I think I was in Tennessee, the great state of Tennessee. I'm now residing in Alabama, and I am now also in the process of recording another music album, which consists completely of cover songs, 10 cover songs, and I'm halfway through. I've recorded 5 of those cover songs already, and that album will release sometime in about the next 4 weeks from now. And so I love music, and I love creativity. I love the art form, and thus just listening to music is something that makes me very happy. And in this second album that I'm going to release 4 weeks from today, the first song of that album is going to be Can't Tell Falling in Love, my third version of that song. The first version was released, I think, in December 2025. The second version I released a couple of months back. That has received about 7 to 8 million listens or listeners on many radio station airplays across the world and in the United States of America, obviously. And this third version, I think, is going to be fantastic as well. And that's going to be the first one from that particular album, obviously, from the one and only king of music and the American music legend, Elvis Presley. And I actually might be visiting Graceland, Elvis Presley's home, sometime in the next few days. I just connected with Michael earlier today, actually, and Michael, who works with the Elvis Presley team, and I have emailed their team as well, and hopefully I'll get that meeting sometime in this week or maybe the next week. And the last song of that particular album, the second album that I'm going to release 4 weeks from today, is probably going to be a song from Taylor Swift and the wonderful, awesome Taylor Swift, whose music I've listened to literally from, I would say, 2008,
Hmm.
2009, something like that. And so that's a cover song, obviously, I'm going to do. And I think it's going to be fantastic. And then I'm going to reveal the name of the album that is going to come out 5 days from now. The first one that I recorded in one take in Tennessee. All right, you ready?
Yep.
And I don't know if you're going to resonate with this, but I'll say this: I love Elvis Presley, and Elvis Presley is eternal. And this particular album that I'm going to release has no song from Elvis Presley, in the sense that I'm not covering any of Elvis Presley's songs, incredible songs, in this music album that's going to be released about 5 days from today. My friend Arthur is playing beautiful piano for it, and a friend of mine is going to play electric guitar for one of the songs. So 6 songs out of the 7 cover songs will have just vocals and piano. One song, Here Without You, from the incredible band Three Doors Down, incredible music band Three Doors Down, will have guitar on it and along with my vocals. And but there's no Elvis Presley cover song in this album. And I love Elvis Presley. He's the unequivocally the all-time greatest musician, singer ever. And like I said, one of the reasons, obviously, why I feel people in the United States of America and all across the world resonate and still resonate with Elvis Presley is obviously because he's the most, brilliant and beautiful singer there has ever been. The vocals and the on-screen presence and the stage presence, it's just incredible. But like I said in the previous interview with you, one of the previous interviews with you, my friend Brody, he has a pure heart. And that's one of the reasons why the people resonate with Elvis Presley. And what I'm trying to say is there's no song, no cover song from Elvis Presley that I'm covering in this album that's coming out in about 5 days from today. And the name of that album is No Words Needed. Elvis Presley is eternal and he is the all time greatest singer, musician, and just one of the greatest, how do I say it, people there has ever been on planet Earth. And so, No Words Needed
Hmm.
is going to be the name of the album, and we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a very successful album. I'll obviously share the link to it on through a text message to you as well, my friend. A Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal link to it, and hopefully you'll listen to it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And like I said, I will speak for 3 minutes. I think I spoke for like 10 minutes, and which is par
That's
for the
fine.
course, right?
Hmm.
And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for me, Brody.
Um, some of that Elvis stuff seems a little far fetched, but I do have a question.
Okay,
Um,
I know you love Michael Jackson, and is that why you're saying the Elvis stuff seems far-fetched? What do you mean by that? And by the way,
I
Michael
mean,
Jackson's fantastic as well, right? No doubt about it.
well,
One of the greatest.
beyond music, greatest like human. I don't know about all that.
Well, I mean, the reason I say it is because I love Elvis Presley,
Yeah.
and I just feel that he has a very pure heart, and I have no doubt about it. And if you look at his song "Can't Help Falling in Love," I don't know if I said this on your show or on my friend Rory Paquette's show on the previous week. See, that song "Can't Help Falling in Love," in my opinion, is a Christian song. And I really believe that it is a Christian song. It's obviously a pop song, romantic song, love song, no question about it. But it is, in my opinion, a Christian song. And I just feel he's just incredible. And he is a inspiration to me, not just from the perspective of music and creative art form, Elvis Presley is, but also from the perspective of the fact that when I look at his videos, when I look at his acting videos or music videos, it brings a smile to my face and it makes me happy. And that's basically why I say that's my perspective. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, obviously, but
Hmm.
I feel Elvis Presley is one of the greatest, like I said, how do I say it, people to have walked planet Earth. And But I want to know why you feel it's a little bit far-fetched. I want to hear you out, my friend.
Well, I mean, simply put, I don't think he's the greatest musician of all time. That's just me, though.
You're completely with Michael Jackson on that one.
Yeah. I mean, performance,
What's your
impact.
favorite Michael Jackson song?
Okay, I can't really pick one. I mean, there's so many. You can take any.
Okay.
Recently, I've actually really enjoyed Chicago, which released after he passed and was initially unreleased. Like, he had it done, I don't remember when, like early 2000s, but never released it. And it's pretty good. Good story, good storytelling, good writing, good production. If he was still here today, you know, he'd be performing that song like crazy because his performance and stage presence is unmatched. I mean, invented a dance move, you know.
I certainly respect your viewpoint. Like I said, Michael Jackson, one of the all-time greatest. But for me, Elvis Presley is just sensational to I would say, at a completely different level compared to every other music artist in the world. I would say it unequivocally, and I think a lot of the music artists will agree with me on that as well. I think it's just the connect that I have with him from the perspective of the resonance that I have with his music and his music videos is what makes me say what I just said. And but anyways, obviously Michael Jackson, fantastic as well, and some of the current artists are incredible as well. I know Ed Sheeran is doing a music tour in Loop, I think it's called, in the United States of America right now, and Taylor Swift is fantastic as well, one of the greatest, I would say, and so many incredible music artists. Enrique Iglesias, whose song Hero is fantastic as well. I don't know if you've heard that song. It's a beautiful song, and so many music artists. It's just I just love music, and I love acting as well, obviously. And I was actually I just sent an email to the organization that I partnered with from the perspective of recording the movie trailer for my movie God, and we're gonna record that hopefully in the next week. This week hopefully, but if not, the next week. And so anyways, sorry, floor's back to you, my friend.
Yeah, I do have a question. Your album, you recorded in one day. That seems a little quick. 6 hours seems a little quick. I mean, some artists take multiple years to make an album. That's 14 tracks. Was there any difficulties film or recording in one day? Do you think that might hurt the quality of the project? What are your overall experience on filming or recording in one day?
That's a great question. I think I just wanted to do it. I wanted to record it in one day. See, the first thing I'll say is I'm not singing original songs. The songs that I sang in that recording session, the 6-hour recording session in Tennessee, in the great state of Tennessee, on June 14, 2026, which was the Sunday prior to this Sunday, right? I sang 7 cover songs. And there's a difference, right? When I'm singing a cover song, it's not my original song. I am just covering it. I'm giving a different musical arrangement. I'm sort of giving it a different sort of a vocal perspective to it, obviously. But I've heard those songs, my friend, like 500 times. Each song that I've covered, I've heard it so many times over the last so many years, right? And when that happens, it's easier for me to sing those songs with my own musical arrangement. The musical arrangement is different, but the lyrics are the same, and I have heard those songs so many times that song is internal to me, or the songs that I covered, the 7 cover songs, are internal to me. And as a result of that, it makes it easier for me to just sing the song. And the other thing I will say is I did not prepare for singing these songs at all. The 7 cover songs that I covered, I did not prepare for it at all, in the sense that I actually don't even know the lyrics of the songs, which I'm not proud of. I should, but I put the lyrics in front of me on a phone and I sang it with no, like predefined idea about how I will sing from a musical range perspective. I had no idea. I just took the microphone and sang the song, and I think it's come out pretty well. The other question you asked me was, does it hamper the quality, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes, so for example, if I would have recorded those 7 songs over a period of, say, 1 week instead of 6 hours straight, I think there is a possibility that the quality of the song, from the perspective of sound engineering and from the perspective maybe of me not having to then record the entire song in one take start to finish, that might have created some sort of a positive impact on the output of the song. But see, one of the things that I said during one of my previous interviews with you, my friend, was that when you, I'll give you an example. When, like, listen to that song that you mentioned, right? From said Chicago. Is that the name of the song or?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so you heard the song Chicago, right? Now, when you were hearing that song, let's say you were wearing those headphones, right? And you were in a room and you hit play on the song, right? And the song starts. Now, when you're hearing that song, what are you hearing? It's a very interesting conversation, hopefully. But
You hear
what
the
are you hearing?
you hear the instruments and the vocals.
Fantastic, right? So
Yep.
you hear the instruments that are on that song, the musical instruments,
Yep.
and the vocals from, in this case, Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you hear that particular song, what are you thinking of? Is your mind completely blank, or are you associating the personality of the singer, the personality of the musical instrument as well? Musical instruments have a personality, believe it or not. And I don't know if that makes sense. I think in a creative, artistic sense, it does make some sense. The piano, or I don't know which musical instruments are in that song that you're talking about, obviously from the incredible Michael Jackson, but what I'm trying to get at is, I'm assuming, and you can answer if you agree with me or not, obviously, it's my perspective. When you listen to a song, right, the personality of the artist and the personality of the musical instrument, along with the emotion that is attached with the listener and the singer of that song, along with the emotion that is attached from the perspective of the listener of that song with the headphones on, and the musical instrument. Maybe some people love the piano more, maybe some people love the guitar more, maybe some people love the violin more, maybe some people love some different musical instrument like the drums. That emotional resonance, along with the personality of the singer, that you internally visualize when you hear the song, it's a concoction of all that
Mm-hmm.
that makes it into a fantastic listening experience, whether it's a 3 minute song, 4 minute song, 5 minute song. And by the way, while I'm saying this to you, even I'm not even hearing the song, I'm thinking of Elvis Presley right now. You see what I'm saying, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the point I'm trying to make is that when you listen to a song, you are listening to the entire context of the artist, the context of the story of the artist, the context of the instrument that's playing, and your emotional resonance with all these three things, along with obviously the quality of the song and the melody of the song, the tune of the song, the rhythm of the song, the vocal range of the song. You're listening to this simultaneously, and it has a emotional resonance to this entire song, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is, perhaps, and I don't want to say definitively, but perhaps if I would have said, okay, let me sing one song per day instead of, so 6 days to sing, or 7 days to sing those seven cover songs, instead of doing it continuously in one recording session, perhaps the final song might perhaps be a little bit better. But I did a monologue after I did the 6 hour recording session, my friend. I did a like a 30 minute, or maybe even more than that, 35 minute monologue in the sense like me just speaking on the microphone, no script, just talking on the microphone, and recorded it and released it worldwide. And that monologue has been heard by a lot of people. Don't believe the the view count on some of the social media channels. That's got a lot to do, in my opinion, with the presidential campaign that I'm in and the suppression that I'm facing because of that, the situation in the presidential campaign. Obviously, this is a Hollywood music entertainment showbiz type interview. I don't want to sort of get into too much details on that. I will at some point on different media interviews and things like that. But and large majority of the people in the United States of America and a lot of people, music lovers across the world, are completely aware of that happening. And but the point I'm trying to make is that that monologue has been heard by a lot of people in the United States of America and across the world. And what happens is, when they hear that monologue and now they listen to that song, they are aware, many of them are, not all of them, they are aware that, okay, Gary Barr sang this entire album, or music artist Gary Barr for USA president sang this entire album in one recording session take. And that now gets a resonance with the song that the people are, the music lovers, the passionate music lovers are listening on their headphones or stereos or while driving their car. And that plays an effect from the perspective of their receptiveness and their emotional resonance with that song. And so when you put that into perspective, I would say that recording that entire album, that the No Words Needed album, in one take in 6 hours, then in the next hour or so recording the entire monologue, me doing the sound engineering personally, me doing the mixing of the song personally, me doing the mastering of the song personally by putting in a lot of time and effort into learning those techniques at a basic level, along with simultaneously running for the 48th presidency of the United States of America as a Republican and as a believer in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, and doing 50 media interviews, and also at the same time recording my first movie trailer for my movie God. And I have no manager for this other than obviously DJ Rampage, who is helping me a lot with the music. But other than that, everything is being done by me. It's a one-man show to a large extent. I have a lot of friends in all the industries that I'm in. But from the perspective of officially working with me, only Jason Ball is working with me. And who is from the great state of Iowa, fantastic guy, one of my best friends and great American farmer as well. And I think he's also a former firefighter, American firefighter, great American brave firefighter. So it's a one-man show, not just from the perspective of one industry, but the 7 industries that I'm in, book publishing, everything I'm doing pretty much all on my own, and I'm doing really, really well in all these industries, and I'm dominating the 2028 presidential election cycle. And what happens is, when the listener listens now, with this in context, with a large majority of people across the United States of America, and I will now start saying this, a lot of people across the world. My songs have been played in not just the United States of America, 50 million listens and listeners, but also in Canada, England, Germany, Sweden, Brazil, Spain, France, and I'm not even able to mention all the countries. A lot of airplays on radio stations in these countries. And so the point I'm trying to make is, when this entire concoction has an imprint on the mind and the heart of the music lover, and then they hear the song, and then they say, all right, this was recorded, the entire album was recorded in one particular take, 6-hour take. I think that's a fantastic resonance that the people have with the music. And I know there have been, a fantastic sort of a resonance with the music as well. So I would, given that in context, I would disagree with saying that the song would have been better if, I would have recorded it one song per day or anything like that. And I was just in the zone during that particular music session. I just loved it. I love music. It's a lot of fun for me. And so that's my answer to the question. And does that make sense? Or
I think that's interesting.
okay.
I don't know. I mean, when I listen to music, I don't have that much resonance in terms of like how long it took an artist to record a project. And my example to that is Juice WRLD, who has many huge albums that have topped the charts for months and still topping the charts even after he passed. He recorded his album Death Race for Love, which is like 22, 23 tracks in a week or less. It was like 6 days or 7 days. And I think it's a phenomenal project. But when I listen to it, I'm not constantly thinking of, oh, he recorded this entire studio album in less than a week. I know that it's a fact, but it doesn't really change the listening experience to me. So
Makes sense. Like I said, right, what I said right now, from the perspective of the resonance that the music lovers have with respect to a particular artist or a particular song, is not universal. I'm not saying that everyone will agree with what I'm saying, but I think in general, I think that makes sense, for me at least. And maybe not for everyone, but I think even when you said that Juice WRLD is a artist or a band. Sorry, I should be familiar with this musician.
He's an artist.
Sorry about that.
He's a solo artist, yeah.
Okay, so Juice WRLD in this particular example that you gave me, okay, you did not, while you were listening to his song and you said you loved his music, you enjoyed his music, you did not consciously feel that, okay, every minute or every second that you're hearing his music, you're not thinking, oh, he recorded it, the entire 23, 24 song album in whatever you said, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, very
Yeah.
short duration of time. You were not thinking that at a conscious level, but you knew that. You knew that prior to listening to that album. And maybe subconsciously, you had a certain level of respect for that artist, or some sort of an admiration, or some sort of a appreciation, saying, okay, this guy, in this example that you gave me, Juice World, did a feat or an achievement that is something that deserves credit, something that deserves applause. And maybe that had an effect on the way you perceived his music, maybe not. But I think if you take a sample space of, let's say, 100 million music lovers, 100 million music listeners across the country and across the world, a large percentage of people will say that the personality of, say, Elvis Presley, when they hear they hear the Elvis Presley song "Can't Help Falling in Love," has a big impact on the way they perceive that song, on the way they hear that song. And I think the personality of the artist plays a part. Like Elvis said this, I was actually looking at Elvis Presley's social media, or I think it was Graceland's social media as well, but I think it was Elvis Presley's social media, where he said for him, and again, not quote unquote, but my perception of what I read from that social media post, it was very simple. What he said was, for him, the song was, not just the lyrics of the song, it was also the presence that the artist has on stage. I mean, he said that so many times. He missed, when he was doing movies, he did like 30 movies, like Hollywood movies and like cinema, right? And he said that, okay, well, when I'm not in contract with a movie, what he wanted to do was get on stage and sing some of the best songs that have ever been sung in the history of the world. And so what I'm trying to get at is, even Elvis Presley believed, I think, again, I'm not quoting Elvis Presley, but what I'm saying, I think the personality of the artist plays a part in the perception of the music and the song that the artist sings, even if it is a audio song that is being heard on the headphones and not necessarily a music video. That is my feeling. I'm very confident about it, but again, it's not universal. There are people who will say, well, we just listen to the audio and not associate the personality at all with that song. And so I completely respect your viewpoint on that, but
I would
that's my
say,
viewpoint at least.
I would honestly say that goes without saying. If an artist has no personality on their music, then they don't stand apart from other artists and songs within that genre, because there's no authenticity, there's no personality in the music. So maybe more than just how you perceive the song based on personality, but I mean, if you even enjoy the song, because if you hear, I don't know, some mainstream pop or country or rap song that has no personality, nothing unique about it, I mean, you're never going to play it again, right? It's just another song on the radio that you're not going to listen to again. I think personality plays a bigger role in music creation than, I don't know, just how a listener would perceive it.
Interesting. Now I gotta ask you a question. Last interview that we did, I mean the previous interview that we did a few weeks back, at the end of that interview, I sang "Can't Help Falling in Love" from the one and only king of music and the American music legend Elvis Presley, right? Remember, right? Just the 2 lines, right? And I asked you, I still remember this. I asked you, my friend Brody, do you sing? Are you a singer? And you said you indulge in it a little bit, or you're a little bit of a, like you sing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. I know you and I have never met, but your personality is off the charts, with a chain that you're wearing right now and I would say a better haircut than the one you had last time.
Really? Okay.
Oh, definitely. I think you have a better haircut this time than the last time, but than the one you had the last time. But the point is, the personality part of it is check mark, right? The stick mark. You got it. Now, from the perspective of singing, how good are you? I think you might be a pretty good singer.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, I think we're about
like
to
I said,
find out. You should sing a little bit.
No, I don't sing like that. I dabble a little bit. It's not live singing, and there's a lot of post processing stuff that goes into it. But
Okay. All right. I know you're technically you're savvy with the music, right from the sound engineering perspective and mixing and mastering. I know you're really good at it, obviously. But all right. Well, you got the personality part done. You've got it. Now all you gotta do is the go to the recording studio and sing a. In your case, you want to sing a Michael Jackson song. Knock it out of the park. One of the things I will say is, see, I will say it this way. See, I've done how many songs have I released? Like if you look at my Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, I think it's like if you add this 7 cover songs that are going to be released in this upcoming album, right? The No Words Needed, that's the name of the album. And I think I've released probably like 20 to 25 songs, right? 25 cover songs, let's say, just about. Now, here's the thing with cover songs, and people have asked me this question, like you've released cover songs, and I've done 3 original songs as well. And here's my rationale for it. And I'm going to give you a very straight rationale to why I've released cover songs and why I have released 3 original songs, right? And I think it'll hopefully be an interesting conversation. So, see, the first thing is I'm a new musician. I have never gotten any formal music training, and I've never gotten any real formal training from a musical instrument perspective, more than maybe like one class somewhere like 20, 30 years back or something, which I don't think counts, right? In this particular context of the conversation, at least it does not count.
okay.
And so the point I'm trying to make is the first song that I recorded was obviously Perfect from Ed Sheeran, right? Ed Sheeran's beautiful song, Perfect. And that was, I think, in October 2025, if not then November 2025, right? Which is about, whatever, 7-8 months back. Now, for someone who is a complete outsider to the music industry, or at least at that time was a complete outsider to the music industry, I did not know that I could even write an original song. I didn't know that. I had done about
Really?
20 songs, released 20 songs on the Smule app. Yeah. I mean, I had no idea that I'll be able to write an original song.
Oh, okay. That way.
And I've written about, right?
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make, my friend, is, sorry, I think there's a little bit of a lag on the video, but the point I'm trying to make is, see, when you sing a cover song, right? There are a few things that happen. First, it's a song. If you choose the right song, that is a very important part of being a musician. Choose the right song. Elvis Presley said that. People asked him in an interview, okay, why are you not releasing more songs or something like that? He said there are not songs available that he really likes to the high level of standard that Elvis Presley had, right? But the first thing is choose the right song. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you sing a cover song that is, let's say, Elvis Presley song, Can't Help Falling in Love, there are like 99% of the people in the United States of America and music lovers across the world have heard that song, right? When that wise man say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. When that song plays on the radio, immediately everyone recognizes what song it is. And that's an advantage to me as a music artist if I knock it out of the park with that song. If I don't knock it out of the park, meaning if I don't really do a fantastic work with that song, if this song is not beautiful, people are going to say what? Oh, this guy covered, or this girl, whoever in this example, this person, this artist covered a Elvis Presley song, and some of the people, or a lot of the people, without any malice towards the artist in most circumstances, will sort of say, colloquially or to their friends, oh, this guy covered this song from this prominent music artist, and it sucked. The cover song sucked. It was really bad. And now that's a risk you take when you cover a cover song, when you do a cover song. Because the immediate comparison is going to be, with the original artist. And if the original artist is going to be singing that cover song way better than the artist covering that cover song, the artist covering that cover song is going to be like look down upon is a very bad thing to say, but they're going to make that comparison and say the original artist knocked it out of the park. This person covering that song did not. Right? And that's a risk that is a tough risk to take. And I think obviously I've done really, really well with the cover songs. I mean, Elvis Presley is the all-time greatest, but even like there are people who have said that, you sound a little bit or you look a little bit like Elvis Presley. I'm not kidding. People have said that to me, and obviously, maybe they're just trying to be really nice to me and things like that. But 50 million listens or listeners in the last 16 weeks across 18,000 radio station airplays, that makes me, in my opinion, unequivocally the hottest unsigned artist in the world right now. And I don't think I'm going to stay unsigned for too long, but we'll see what happens. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's an advantage if you sing that cover song, but it can turn into a disadvantage if the song that you sing as a cover song artist for that cover song is not a very nicely sung song. And so I think that is an important aspect that I wanted to bring out as well. And so uh, I think I don't know what the original question was, but I did wanted to share this with the people. And I think what I was trying to say was you should go ahead and sing a Michael Jackson song in the recording studio. You never know what will happen. You gotta put it out, my friend, because, like I said, you have the personality. You're a fine personality guy. You are an entrepreneurial guy. You have started 3 podcasts, and I don't know how old you are right now, but do you mind sharing? How old are you?
Roughly 20.
Okay, so you're 20-year-old, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 20 years old. I'm assuming, doing school, and you're still doing 3 podcasts. I know you have started, I think, an LLC with regards to it as well. You are looking at this as a success story that has already started and is going to go on to the next level from the perspective of the success that you're trying to achieve. See, the point I'm trying to make, and you can agree with it, and you might be right if you agree with it. You can disagree with what I'm about to say, and you might be right about that as well. And I could be wrong about it from the perspective of what is correct and right for you, right? My feeling, based on the track record of success that I've had so far, is that if you take those risks, initially take calculated risks if you want to, you might go big from the risk perspective, but be 100% committed to what you're doing. I'll give you an example in your case, right? If you decide to record a song, you say, all right, well, I'm going to take Gary's advice, or I'm going to think about it and I come to my own, in the sense, in this case, you come to your own conclusion that yes, Brody Fischer wants to be a music artist who has songs out on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal, right? You invest, say, a couple of $100 into going to a recording studio and recording a song. Now, when you do that, and I'm talking at a risk level that is not necessarily going to be as risky as, say, fighting MS-13 Trende Aragua Sinaula cartel gang members that I'm doing, right? But what I'm trying to get at is it is still a risk for you, especially at age 20, right? Not a lot of people your age are doing what you're doing. You should be extremely happy and proud about it. But the point I'm trying to make is if you do decide to go to the recording studio, right, don't hesitate after that. Make up your mind that now you're going to go to that recording studio and you're going to sing the song, and you are not going to give up until that song is reached to many radio stations across the United States of America and across the world. That has to be the vision for it. And obviously, you have to practice the song, especially first song. You might want to practice it prior to going to the recording studio. Whichever cover song you choose, I'm assuming you're going to choose a Michael Jackson song. The incredible, obviously one of the all-time greatest artists ever, Michael Jackson. If you cover one of his songs, practice it a little while prior. Or if you feel, you just do as you feel and you go to the recording studio and knock it out of the park, you'll do better that way. Do that way. Get the best possible product from the perspective of the song based on the entire conversation that we have had during this interview. Then reach out to people who you feel could help you, just guide you. You have to do the work. Nobody's going to do the work for you, at least initially, right? Then, like people like DJ Rampage come into the picture. Once you have put in a lot of effort, right? Then the industry notices, and we can get into a lot of detail on that. But then what I'm saying is, once you have that file, right, that audio file, sign up with an organization. Let's say, for example, Lander, that I have signed up with, which distributes music to
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal, and so
Mm-hmm.
many channels. And then reach out to radio stations, call radio stations individually, or go through apps like the Fiverr app, or whatever. Like, do an internet search, submit your song to the radio stations, and get airplays on it. And if you don't give up, let's say you are average singer, and you're probably way above average, right, my friend Brody? But let's say in this hypothetical example, you're average. You're as good as a lot of singers that are out there. What will now differentiate you is that you don't give up. You go to the radio stations time after time after time again, knock on their doors, in the sense, metaphorically speaking, analogy wise speaking, and say, will you play my song? You have to play my song. Will you play my song? Do it respectfully. Use your business skills, and a lot of other skills are needed. It's not like a very simple thing to do, because otherwise everyone would do it, right? And then make sure you get the airplays. And then once you have some feedback on it from people who you feel you can trust with advice with regards to the topic of conversation that you're having, usually that'll be because of an emotional connect you have with that individual that you're seeking advice from, and a certain level of goal alignment. If you can do that and then sing the next song and knock it out of the park, and like I did, release 25 songs, there's a higher chance that you will get 50 million airplays or close to that than there is a chance you will not. And I feel that. I believe in the world of the possibility. In fact, that is an understatement. I believe I've already achieved the goal. And when I say I believe that, I really, really believe that. It's not, I have to really wake up in the morning and do this and do that, and I have to get this done and I have to get that done and never give up. These thoughts don't even come to my mind right now. I have already won and saved America. They just do not know it yet. I believe that. That's the mindset you want to be in, is what I'm trying to get at. So, anyways, that was a little bit of a advice session, which I don't know. Maybe you like what I said or not, but at least it's not bad to, right?
I think it's a nice thought, and I think it's really good advice for somebody that's aspiring to get into music. Me personally, don't care enough about music. I just do it for fun. I've been doing it for like the last 7 years.
Okay.
Cover songs aren't really my style. I've been writing the whole time. I've done like 2 covers maybe. But again, nice thought for sure.
Wait, you've written songs?
I have written probably 300 songs total throughout my whole music adventure. Probably 250, 300.
Wait, I couldn't hear there was a little bit of a lag on the video. How many songs?
Anywhere between 250 and 300 or more. I don't know, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible. What genre of music do you write about?
Like,
what genre of music are the songs in?
Honestly, I don't write for a specific genre. I just kind of go based on what I'm feeling. I've done everything from alternative rock. I've done indie. I've done pop. I've done just acoustic. I've done a little bit of hip hop. And just kind of merge them all together and just have fun with it. So I don't really stick with one specific genre.
That is fantastic. Wow, I did not know that about you. Maybe you and I can collaborate. I can be the vocalist, and maybe one of your songs that you have written, I could sing one of those songs. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Interesting.
We can take that off air, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And working with friends is always nice, and very cool. All right, very nice. And all right, what do you want to talk about now? I know we started off with a dinosaur story. I don't think I completed it. I'll complete it.
I have no idea where you were going with that. I mean, you just asked me about a T-Rex, and that was it, and then we moved on. So please finish that.
All right. So what was happening was I released this video on. You can do 2 things if you want to. Obviously, you're going to edit this interview from the perspective of maybe adding "Rhythm of Eternal Love," that song, at the end of the video, at the end of the interview, if you would like to. But if you could also do this, I did a acting video, it's more of a humor video, like a fun humor video that I did about 16, 17 hours back, like at 9 p.m. yesterday, whatever it was, like less than 24 hours back. If you look at that video, it's on my social media, and if you want, I can text you the link to it after the interview as well. If you want to put it on this, I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I said something like this was a humor thing, right? It was an acting thing, a humor video, fun video, and I basically said, will you play the video without even looking at it? Would you play the video on your show?
We'll see.
It's a 3-minute video.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. If you could do that, I will describe it with the understanding that the viewers will actually see that video on your show, right?
All right.
And it's got a little bit of politics in it from the perspective of my campaign slogan, right? And then I will keep America first. And it's that I'm a believer in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And I don't want to give away the entire video. It's a 3-minute video. But essentially what I said was, I put up a picture of a Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur, right? And I'm no expert at dinosaurs, and obviously I don't know a lot about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, other than the Tyrannosaurus Rex is extinct now, but was a vicious, menacing dinosaur, right? I said to the people listening in, and I don't want to give the number, but tens and hundreds of thousands of views on my videos, which unfortunately, because of the suppression, in my opinion, the suppression from the current White House administration are not being displayed on the social media, and it'll take its course at the right time. But the point I'm trying to make is I get a lot of views on my videos, right? That's my opinion, and a lot of people believe that as well. But what I essentially said to the people listening into the video, I said, I am not a Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur, I said, and I put the picture up of the dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, menacing with the teeth just about to bite you, right? And I basically said, I'm not the Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur, guys and girls. And the reason I say that is because, and I'm doing a little bit of acting here, but the reason I say that is because the Tyrannosaurus Rex, as menacing as the Tyrannosaurus Rex was, I, Gary Barve, am almost infinitely more menacing than the Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur. And if I was living in the age of the Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur, I would have the Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur for breakfast. Then I would have the Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur for lunch. And then I have an insatiable appetite, and I will go hunting in the afternoon and have another Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur for dinner, and perhaps for dessert, perhaps it will not be a Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur. And then I completed with a little bit of my campaign slogan, but I don't know if this acting thing right now worked out, but I think I think it works out pretty well. And so that's why I started with the Tyrannosaurus Rex video. I think it's a fun video, and I was hoping you'll play it on the podcast video that you edit as well, my friend. What did you think about the acting?
On
a
I'll have to see
scale
with the
of
video.
1 to 10. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, without defining whether one is the best or 10 is the best, what would you be giving me on the scale of 1 to 10?
I mean,
what's the right answer to that?
I don't know. You're missing.
What's the right answer to that? It's a very
context.
interesting question.
For what?
But let me ask you this. This is just you and me shooting the breeze, so to speak, right? So isn't that the right phrase? Shooting the breeze, right? Isn't that like a fun banter kind of a thing? All right. So we're shooting the breeze now, right? I'll ask you this. If I ask you a question, right? If I say to you, and this is just spur of the moment, I just thought about it. If I say to you that, let's say I ask you to gauge or rate the acting performance that I just did, right? And I say to you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you give me without defining whether 1 is good or bad on the scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is good or bad on the scale of 1 to 10, meaning 1 could be the worst or the best, 10 could be the worst or the best.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give me?
Like a 4 or
What
5.
number would you give me? Why would you do a 4? Why wouldn't you do a 5 to be on the safe side? You don't know whether 1 is, and you take it in the right spirit, right? You don't know whether 1 is the best or the worst, and 10 is the best or the worst on this scale of 1 to 10. Why would you do a 4? Because 4 could actually mean a 6. There's no right answer to this. It's just an interesting conversation. What would you say to that? Why would you give a 4? 5, I understand. You're playing it safe. I
Well,
like your answer 4.
I have my scale in my
answer
head.
4.
I have my scale in my
Huh?
head, and 4 to 5 would fit on that scale in terms of acting in the grand scheme.
Okay, so essentially I like the answer, fantastic. So essentially what you're saying that, Gary, you told me that there is a scale from 1 to 10, but I'm not defining whether 1 is the best or the worst or 10 is the best or the worst on that scale. What you're telling me is I ignored your advice, or I ignored your problem statement, so to speak. And what I did, or in this case you did, was you decided that 1 is either the best or the worst. You defined it in your mind without telling me whether 1 is the best or the worst.
Yep.
You defined whether 1 is the best or the worst. You defined whether 10 is the best or the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And you went with 4
Yep.
without telling me whether, or the person asking the question,
Yep.
whether 4 is actually a 6 or not. Meaning, was your 4 tilted more towards bad as compared to a 5, or whether it was tilted more towards a good as compared to a 5 on that scale of 1 to 10, right? That's
Okay.
basically what you did. Is that right?
Well, you
I think
told
that
me
makes
without
sense, all right.
you told me not to explain my scale, so I just gave you my answer.
Okay, I like it. Can I give you my answer to that?
For your own acting? Or
No, just if you ask me that question, if you ask me to gauge a particular whatever acting performance or song on a scale of 1 to 10 without defining whether 1 is the best or the worst or 10 is the best or the worst, you want to know what my answer would be? I've not thought about this at all. I still don't know what I'm going to say right now. Do you want me to answer that question?
sure.
All
Might
right,
as
I'll
well.
answer it in a I'll answer it in a few ways, and I'll say this. Let's just say this is a hypothetical, like a interaction in a movie where there's an interview scene or something like that, right? If this question is asked to me, I'll answer it in a few ways, and consider that having a track record of success when you answer that question makes a difference, because the personality of that person answering that question makes a difference to that interaction, to the from the perspective of how the interviewer asking the question is looking at that particular person answering the question. I would say the first thing I'll say is 10. I would say I would rate it a 10. And the reason I would do that is without knowing whether 10 is the best or the worst, or 1 is the best or the worst on that scale. The reason I would, and then the person asking the question would say, okay, why 10? I didn't even say whether 10 is the best or the worst. And depending upon the dynamic of the situation, I can come up with so many different answers right now. The first answer I would give is, because I don't really give a damn about what you think. It's a stupid question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a 10, and that's just what I think. Depends on the dynamic of the situation, right? You have to understand the perspective of the situation. If you know in a certain way you have already closed the deal and you want to end that interaction in an ascendancy, you can say something like this and get away with it, because you know that you already have that deal from the perspective of the interview in this movie scene that I'm explaining. So one bravado answer with a lot of arrogance associated with the personality is I would say 10, or I would say 100, or I would say I don't care, I don't want to answer your question, right? Because you created that chemistry, because you have created that camaraderie with the person asking that question, the dynamic of the interaction between the two people makes a difference towards how your answer is perceived. That's the first point. The second thing that I could say, if I wanted to be a little bit more cautious, is I could say 5, right? That's an intelligent answer, right? 5 would be an intelligent answer because you're not taking a risk there, right? 5 is the answer where you can say, I don't know whether on this scale of 1 to 10, 1 is the best or the worst, or 10 is the best or the worst. So I'm going center, I'm saying 5, right?
Well,
Because
that's just you not. That's just not answering the. That's not actually putting on a scale though. If you're just putting it right in the middle.
It is. I'll explain why. You ask a very important question. It is why. Is this interesting to you? Is this Is this interesting to you? You understand what I'm saying, right?
I
At
think
least
you're
you
reaching a
understand.
little bit. You just asked me to rate it 1 to 10. I can give you my scale, and I put it on the scale. That was it. I don't really have like an existential crisis when I make scales of things. Typically,
I know.
more often than not, 10 is always the highest when you look at movie rankings and ratings and
Correct.
stuff like
Yeah.
that, or 1 to
Yeah.
5. 5 is usually the highest. And then in
I,
my mind, I split up what 8 to 10 is, what 5 to 7 is, and then what below that is.
I think your answer is just about perfect. But I think it's a very nice answer, right? You're saying usually on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the best, one is the worst,
Yeah.
and so you pick the number based on that understanding. But what I'm saying is this is an answer that probably the top, and you're taking it in the right spirit, right? You know I'm a very good friend of yours, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is now when you give this answer, you are differentiating yourself from the 100 other people who will interview because you're now in the top 20%. 20% of the 100 people, 20 of the 100 people will give the answer that you gave. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is if you want to be in that top 1%, or forget the top 1%, if you want to be the most successful one on the planet, you're going to have to, not you, right? Don't take it as a personal affront, right? Hopefully I'm communicating correctly. If a person wants to be the most successful one on the earth, let's say, right? You want to differentiate yourself from everyone on earth. You have to do that. There's no, in a certain way, in a certain industry at least. And what I'm trying to say is that the answer you gave is fantastic. I love the answer. It is a beautiful answer. If I was hiring 20 people, I in the sense, not me, right? And don't take it personally, but what I'm saying is you will differentiate yourself from 80% of the people with that answer. But if you give the interviewer your answer and also giving context to your answers, 3 or 4 different answers in that particular interaction, saying, I would give a 5 to stay non-risk. I would give a 10 based on the answer that you gave me. And if I wanted to show attitude, I would say I would give 100 because I don't care about the question you asked me. I feel that is the right answer to give you. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Depending upon the dynamic of the situation, what I'm trying to say is there will be interviewers who, if I give that answer to them, will tell me you're fired or will not give me that job. I will not feel bad about it. I will say you are not the person that I want to work with. You should give that job to the remaining 20%. And what I would probably end up doing at that point is I will say that number one, you don't deserve me. You, in the sense that interviewer does not deserve me. Number two, with a little bit more experience, I will say that I am unequivocally better than every person in your organization in this hypothetical example. And I will say I'm
What?
going to compete with you. Yeah.
You're losing me. I'm so confused right now. I gave my answer just as an honest. This is how I put it on a scale. That's it. If you don't know what the scale is, ask what the scale is, and then if it's backwards, all right, I'll put it as 6. You know, so I don't know how this is translating to being better than 80% or worse than 80% of people. I mean, it's a very simple. Okay. Rate this 1 to 10, and then boom, you rate it honestly.
I think look, first thing I'll say is it's an intellectual exercise which is going to be seen by millions of people, right? But I like it. I think I'm not doing a good job right now of communicating what I'm trying to say to you. So it's my fault right now. Let me see if I can communicate what I'm saying in a more effective way, all right? What I'm saying, my friend, is... See, let me put it this way. If you want to be in the top 1%, right? Do you agree that you will have to differentiate yourself in a so-called better way than the remaining 99%?
Statistically, you would have to.
Statistically, you will have to, right? Okay. Yeah. And so what would that mean? That would mean you will have to work harder, probably. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can work the same hours, but make up for it through a different attribute set, right? You will maybe have to work twice as much as the other 99%.
Yep.
You will have to be more dedicated towards your goal. You will perhaps have to say that, I am going to give this the number one priority. You will perhaps have to say that you're going to take a training on this that others are not willing to take. You might say that, I am willing to, so many other things, right? Maybe practice on a particular skill set better and differentiate myself on that particular skill set in that particular industry and become number one through that skill set in that
Mm-hmm.
industry, right? So what I'm trying to say is you will, let's say, like you said, right, my friend, statistically, you want to differentiate yourself from the remaining 99%. Now, you don't have to be negative towards the remaining 99% people. You don't have to do that. You can make friends in those 99% of the people and add value once you realize that you're in that top 1%. That actually is one of the biggest happiness factors that I get. Not that I'm saying I'm in the top 1% or not, but what I'm saying is that now that I've seen a certain level of success, I love helping people like you, for example, who are massively successful at a young age of 20, which I was not at your age. I will say that definitively. Starting 3 podcasts, doing high school, doing all your other things, that takes a certain level of initiative at that young age. And for me to even add a small percentage of maybe direction, if that is the right word, or even happiness to your life through that, makes me very happy. You can say it's a selfish thing if you want to, but it makes me happy. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you want to differentiate yourself in ways that will differentiate you from the remaining 99% based on statistics, like you said, right? You said that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what I was trying to say through that interview example that you and I were discussing was that if you answer the question in a way that out of the 100 people interviewing for that interview, nobody answers in that way. And the answers that you give to that question are a positive from the perspective of how those answers are perceived by the interviewer, the person asking the question, that will differentiate you from the remaining 99%. And what happens, my friend, is it's easier to go in the top 10%. It's tougher than to go in the top 9%. It's even tougher to go in the top 7% because now you're competing with the best of the best. It becomes even tougher to go from the 99% to the 99.9%, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And you now then start taking these differentiation risks based on ability, belief in my, as a Christian, I would say, is belief in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, and patriotism towards our country, and so many other things. And the exercise that you and I just did from the perspective of that Q&A discussion was just my way of trying at least to explain my perspective, that if you answer it in this way, and if you do that at 10 interviews, there will be 9 interviews that will probably say no to you. And the reason for that probably is going to be, which you will probably realize at a later time, is because the interviewer is just not as good as you are. I feel that, and I've proven that now to a large extent through the track record of success. If I would have said that without the track record of success, people would have said, well, maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, doesn't matter, right? But what I'm trying to say is, let me ask you this. We'll complete it with this. Okay?
Yep.
I hope I'm doing a good job communicating this. If you are, if you want to be, or if you are already the most successful one on earth, right? And if someone interviews you, if the person interviewing you is obviously not the most successful one on earth, there is a chance, a very high chance, if the person doing the interview is not a person who likes you or sees a mutual goal association from the perspective of associating with you, and sees you as some sort of a business threat or something, or whatever it is, they might want to pull you down. But what happens is, if you associate with the right people, that's why I said, if you do 10 different interviews, one of them will say yes. And that association will be a yes from someone who says, I, in the sense, the person asking the question in this example, have a certain attribute set, and I, in the sense, that person has seen massive success through that attribute set. And because that person has seen that massive success through that attribute set, that person will now say, okay, I am self-confident. I, in the sense, that person is self-confident. And just because someone has walked in here who has an attribute set that has put him in that particular industry or maybe multiple industries at the top in this hypothetical example, the person asking the question will now not feel business threatened by this other person. And what he or she will say, if that person is competent, is okay, I like this guy or this girl, whoever it was walked in and answered the questions in this way. I want to associate with this person because there is a mutual benefit, mutual goal, success, achievement, trajectory that I see, in the sense from the perspective of the person asking the questions, with the person who has answered the questions in the way I answered, meaning in a way that has differentiated that person from the other competitors. The person answering the questions is now differentiated from the other competitors. And a really successful, talented person will now say, I want to associate with this person now because I see a mutual success here that the other 99 people who interviewed will not be able to give me. You see my point? I hope I'm doing a good job explaining this to you. I want to watch this interview video after it comes out, but that's the point I'm trying to make. I was not trying to give you different answers to that question just to come across as a smart guy or anything like that. I was doing it to exemplify, not exemplify, but demonstrate that the attitude that one must have, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, you decide. The attitude that one must have when they walk into an interview room, when they walk onto a stage, when they walk onto a media interview, whatever it is, the attitude should be, I'm going to knock it out of the park. And that was sort of the effect that I was hoping that I could have on you and the incredible viewers and listeners that will watch this interview through that impromptu question that I asked you. I have not thought about that question again, and I can give you 10 different answers to that question. I don't know if we have time for that, but and that was not the point. The point was not to answer it in 10 different ways. The point of this interaction was to demonstrate that that is a way of differentiation. If you differentiate from the opponents in a way that adds more value to the people who is interacting with you, or the person who is interacting with you, you have a much better chance of achieving success than if you are not differentiating yourself in a positive, productive way. And the way to do this, in my opinion, I say this as a Christian, I say this as a believer in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I say this as a believer that the Bible is the Word of God. And I respect all religions. I say this as a Christian, what I'm about to say right now. If you make decisions that are right and correct in the eyes of Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, He will bless you in ways that are so profound, so incredible, so fantastic, so awesome, almost unimaginable, that transcend even in a certain way of looking at things. The earthly dynamics, you will be so blessed by Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior that you will see success after success after success in an effortless way, in a way that takes almost zero effort. Something I see in Elvis Presley as well. And I'll just say that. And hopefully the people listening in like this. I was only trying to add value when I said the last 10, 15 minutes, what I said in that interaction that you and I had. I did not want to come across as the guy who has 10 answers to one question kind of a thing. I was just trying to say what I said, and hopefully it has a positive effect on the young American people, senior American people as well, patriotic young American people, patriotic senior American people, and music lovers and movie lovers all across the world. Hopefully they like what I had to say. And if you did, then you just made me a little bit more happier than I was before you felt that value added you. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think that is a perfect place to end.
Does that make sense?
Today.
That was enough for today. All right.
Yeah. Any final thoughts or shout outs or anything like that?
No, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss with you. I think the best part of the interview was the conversation about the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think it was a lot of fun. But
yeah.
Anyways, let's connect. I would like to discuss with you, working with you with regards to your songwriting and my vocals. And if you're open to that, maybe we can talk about it at some point. Is that I'll connect with you after the interview.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
We can talk about it. All
Yeah.
right. And all right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just want to thank you again, my friend Brody Fischer, for interviewing me, and it's a great honor for me to interview with you. And to be very honest, this is the best part of my day today, and I've had a pretty interesting day, but it's
Awesome.
the best part of my day today. So thank you so much, and
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that I get to interview with you, and I look forward to this interview going live within 24 hours. And is that right, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then could you email me the interview video as well, or send it to me via
Yep.
an application or something?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Dude. If you can do that sometime today, that'll be fantastic. I'll put it out on my social media.
Okay.